I'm not accepting no prep school, Bel-Air bred sellout into my fraternity.
Carlton did everything they asked of him, and he still didn't get in. Meanwhile, Will didn't have to do anything. He was already in. So this was never about doing everything right. And if you've ever been through an interview process, you already know how this ends. Watch it land on something vague. Don't give me "we'll be in touch." That's a lie. Oh nah, not team player. Yeah, that one dangerous right there. Yeah, I knew it. Hold on. We keep talking about Carlton. Why we not talking about Will? What about him? Will did the same stuff Carlton did. Same task, same process. But he was already in. Top Dog told him before the ceremony. Exactly. So Carlton doing all that work never actually mattered. Or it wasn't what the decision was based on. Some people walk into the room already approved, and others gotta prove something they can't even change. Then the question is, what actually gets someone approved? Oh, I can show you. Go ahead. Because this don't just happen in frats. This happens everywhere. Let's start in hip hop. Drake ran the game for over a decade. Hits, features, influence. Worked with everybody. Did it the right way. And y'all still debating if he part of the culture? I mean, hip hop didn't start as pop music. It came from a specific place, specific experiences. So when people question that, they're not completely off base. After 10 years, we're still figuring that out? No. What you're reacting to is the same thing happening two different ways. Drake performs, Carlton performs, and neither one of them is fully accepted. So it's not that Drake hasn't proven himself, it's that people don't fully accept what he represents. And that's Carlton. He did everything they asked, and they still questioned whether he belonged. Performance is there, acceptance isn't. So basically, you can pass the test and still fail the room. You can pass the test and still not match what they're comfortable with. All right, philosopher, let's go to the NBA. Allen Iverson, MVP, finals run, carrying a whole team. Everybody watching him, jerseys selling, shoes going crazy. But the league looking at him like, yeah, we can't present that. Then you got somebody like Steph Curry, and the league don't hesitate for a second. But the NBA is a business. You're not just selling basketball, you're selling an image. So from their perspective, they're trying to protect the brand. So one fits the brand, and the other one gotta be adjusted. What you're pointing at is the same dynamic as Will and Carlton. Iverson performs, Curry performs, but one of them already feels familiar. So Curry gets embraced, Iverson gets managed. They accepted what he could do, just not all of who he was. And that's Carlton again. They accepted what he could contribute, but not what he represented. So now, the pattern is clearer. Some people are evaluated, and some people are pre-approved. So it don't matter what you do. If you're not already in, it matters. Just not in the way you think. All right, let's slow this down. Now show me what happens after they don't even wait for you to prove anything. Oh yeah, this one crazy. I'm going to take it somewhere else. Hollywood. Heath Ledger gets cast as the Joker before the movie even drops. What people say? The dude from Brokeback Mountain. That's the Joker? Same thing happened with Michael Keaton. Oh no, a comedian's playing Batman. Movie ain't even out yet, and y'all already decided he don't fit. That's hindsight. We've seen how it turned out. But miscasting happens all the time. People question decisions for a reason. So judging somebody before they even perform, that makes sense now? Well, what you're pointing at again is the same system, just earlier in the process. Drake gets questioned after success. Iverson gets managed during success. And now, Ledger gets judged before success. Different moments, same decision making process. The judgment isn't starting with performance, it's starting with perception. And that's why Carlton never had a chance. Because by the time he showed up, the decision had already started forming. He wasn't being evaluated, he was being confirmed. That's the pattern. Some people get questioned, some people get controlled, and some people get judged before they even begin. So, to wrap this up, you're telling me it was never about what you do? They might have. But that doesn't mean you move like it doesn't matter. And once you understand that, you start to see it in your own life. Because I've experienced this. I was working at a location that hadn't hit its numbers in years. Within months, we were hitting them consistently. So on paper, everything was working. But behind the scenes, I started hearing things like, he's not doing it the right way. He's not the right fit for this location. And what's crazy is, I didn't push back. I believed it. I started thinking, maybe I am the problem. Maybe my attitude needs to change. Maybe I need to do things their way. Maybe if I adjust, they'll accept me. But what I realized later, they were never trying to understand how I worked. They were trying to decide if I fit how they worked. So just like Drake, just like Iverson, just like those casting decisions, I wasn't being evaluated on performance. I was being evaluated on perception, just like Carlton. I thought I was earning my way in, but the decision had already been made. I never actually had a chance to fit because I didn't match what they were comfortable with. And instead of recognizing that, I tried to fix myself. So what? You just move on like that? You don't push back? You don't fight it? You can. But you need to understand what you're fighting. Because you asked earlier, why was Will already in, but Carlton had to prove everything? Because Will felt familiar and Carlton didn't. And with people like Top Dog are in positions of power, they don't choose who's qualified. They choose what they're comfortable with. Because what people fear most is the unknown. That's Drake. That's Iverson. That's those casting decisions. And that's why Carlton never had a chance. So you just let them be wrong. No. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who already decided who you are. That was my mistake. I stayed too long, trying to be accepted. The goal isn't to be accepted everywhere. It's to move where you don't have to be explained. Log entry. Not every room is designed to recognize you. And once you see that clearly, you stop trying to prove yourself. But here's the part we don't talk about. What happens when it's not the system? What happens when you're the one getting in your own way? Next episode, The Internal Saboteur.